Hey again, welcome on my channel. In the previous video we learned a bit more about objects in JavaScript. In this video we will continue learning and plan for this video. We will talk about how to copy object in JavaScript, what is object references and what's the difference between primitive data type and objects. Then we will take a look how to compare different objects, how to clone or merge these objects, and what is garbage collection and why it's important when we talk about objects. When we discuss primitive data types, we know that we can copy any variable and it will be copied by value. So in case we have two variables, it's message and my message, it's a copy of message, it's two strings. Let's run. Console log, sure. Then let's run. We see that it's the same value, even in case we will change message, for example. Let's run it again. We see that message variable was changed, but my message variable wasn't changed, and it saved the previous value, hello friends, here, hello friends. Now let's take a look how it works with objects. For example, we have message. Let's put, for example, text, and again, let's run it. So we see that we have two copies of the same object with the same property text and in the same text. But now let's change a bit. So we will change message text for the first object, and let's run what we will see. So, and as a result we see that for two objects, message and my message, text was changed. Hi there, but it will be better. But why? It's very important and fundamental difference of objects comparing with primitive data types in JavaScript. It means that in JavaScript objects are stored and copied by reference. It means that we didn't copy the whole object, we just copied a reference to this object. So message and my message, they are pointers to the same object, this one, with the property text. So when we change something in this object, all references to this object will reflect these changes and show the same result. It's very important to remember when, for example, you pass. Let's take a look on another example. Another sample, it's very important. For example, we have some function, and this function takes some parameter, it's data, for example, and we have object message which we will pass to this function here, a, and we pass message. In this function data we get this parameter and we change it, we mutate this parameter, what is a terrible idea, but anyway, we can mutate this data. As a result, when we execute this function, we did something, and then we again try to console log our message object, and let's run. And what do we see? In the first case, this text was hi there for console log, then we executed some function, and result we again console log this message object, but result text hello, so text from the function. So it means that object was passed to this function by reference and it was changed in this function. Then we have some mutated object. It's a good sample which shows you that you need to be aware what you pass, and sometimes it causes huge problems. So we will talk about how to solve it. Let's comment this sample and let's continue with the comparing. It's a very important part how we can compare two objects. So we know that in JavaScript we have two comparing operators, it's equal and strict equality, three symbols, but for objects they work the same. What is important is that two objects are equal only if they are the same object. So Let's take a look. So we have two objects. Let's run. So it's true. Because of object 2 is a reference to object, and we can compare strict equality, run, it will be the same. But in case we will create another object, even it looks the same, let's run, it's false, and in this case even the same false, because of references to these objects are different, and that's it, we stop comparing. Objects are different. Okay, we remember the case from this function when we passed object to function and it was changed. How we can fix the problem? To fix this problem, we need clone this object. We need to create a full copy. How we can do it? So let's imagine that we have this message object, and we need a copy of this message. So let's create a new, it will be empty object, and then, as we remember from the previous video, we can go through all properties in this object. There is a for in cycle, and just copy each property into the new object. So let's go. And for copy message key, assign message key. So let's run it, and we see that we have in the first message, we can comment it, we have two objects with the same text. Okay, let's change something. For example, we want message text. For example, we updated message. Let's run it, and we see that for the first one it's message, text is new text, but for the copy message, text is the same. So there are two different objects with two different links, and we can change one link and it won't affect another one. But creating this cycle, it's pretty big piece of code, so how we can simplify our work? So let's take a look on specific object assign method. How it works? Object assign merging two different objects into one and returns this object. We need to merge two objects. So first one will be empty, it's our new object, and the second one it will be message. So as a result, it should return copy. Let's try. So, and we see the same result. Copy message was created as a result of this function object assign, and we put empty object as a base object, and we copied everything from message to this object. For example, we can do something else. Let's create a new object. For example, it's age, and we have message. Still have message. Let's run. We see that age and text. So it means that it merged two objects. One object with property age and another object with property text. And now we have this new object. One more case how we can merge or extend objects. This one was great, but let's do the next one. So we can use spread operator in JavaScript. So let's create new object, and we just use 3 dots. It's a spread operator, and we'll put object name. Let's try. and the same result. But this one is a bit shorter. Spread operator, it takes all properties from the object and puts them as a new properties to the new object. Also, we can do the same age 27, for example, comma, and spread another object. Let's run. And we see result is the same. Another case, what I want to mention, when we copy object, let's take a look for a bit more complex solution. We know that each property in object can be a primitive value, and in the same time it can be another object. For example, and we do not need this one. Let's run. So what we will have? We have the same copy with name and count, and here with name and count. But let's imagine that we need to change something. For example, message, my channel, count. So let's imagine that you subscribed and we have +1. Let's run. So let's take a look on result. My channel, we have 601, and for this one we have 601. So it was changed as well. Why? Because of when we cloning this object to a new one, we copied all fields, primitive fields, by value, but in case if property is another object, this object will be copied by reference. So in this case we can't fix the problem that object will be copied by reference. To do it, we have some special functions and libraries, for example Lodash, but it's out of scope from this video. And now the next what I want to mention is garbage collection. It's memory management in JavaScript, and it's performed absolutely automatically and invisible to us. When we create different variables, is it a primitive data type or object or function, all that takes memory, and if we created more and more objects, we take more and more memory. To solve this and stop creating useless memory in case we do not need objects anymore, JavaScript can automatically remove object or function. So how we decide that it's a time to remove some object? For example, in our case we have a message, we have this object, and reference to this object is a message variable. But in case we will assign message null, for example, let's run. We'll see that message right now was deleted, memory for this variable, for this object was removed, text property was removed, because of we don't have any more reference to this object. But in copy message we have object my channel, and it wasn't removed because of we still have at least one link in this copy message to this object. And when we will call copy message assign null, let's call it, we have two nulls, and in this moment this object was removed completely because of two references which previously pointed to this object now pointing to null, and these objects are removed because of we do not need them anymore, and we prevented memory leak in JavaScript. So everything what is not used anymore in JavaScript will be automatically deleted. In JavaScript it calls reachability. The main concept of memory management in JavaScript is reachability. Simply, if we can reach any object, function by reference or variable, it will be saved and still used. In case we can't reach any object by reference, this object will be removed and garbage collector will delete it from the memory. To get more information how garbage collection works and object copying and reference, you can take a look at the description for this video. There are links and they will help you to understand this topic better. So do not forget to subscribe channel, like it, and soon will be more interesting videos. Thank you for watching.